Welcome to the Dude Comedy Podcast, or that's the Colby and Burns show today, because we got some uncommitted fellas on this show. Jimmy gone for whatever reason. Kyle, I have no idea.
I think that we have now taken a serious lead on most two-person shows.
We're
the
only ones here ever.
Yeah. Now that I say it out loud, there's no way it's anywhere close, because we did around this time last year, we did the 3 in a row, and it was just the two of us.
Yeah. So
these guys go to New York and Yellowstone, 2 of us here. Say what you want, man. Maybe I have a boring life. Maybe I'm always here, or maybe I'm just committed. You be the judge of that.
So I have actually no idea what we're talking about, so I want to just jump right in. Is Demi Lovato still alive? I have no idea. I'm going to Google it right now.
Dude, that's what I was going to talk about. And let me get this out of the way early. Demi Lovato, for those of you who don't know, the story's changed a little bit, but originally the story that came breaking news, Demi Lovato found in her house of a heroin overdose.
Mm-hmm.
Rushed her to the hospital. She was responsive. They saved her at the time. Well, that we know of. Burns is looking up if she's still alive. Then the story started coming out that it was like, oh, maybe it wasn't heroin. But the thing is the paramedics on the scene treated her with I'm not an expert, but it's like the upper, to balance it out of if you overdosed on heroin, right? And I started thinking about it, right? Heroin is like not the drug of choice I would be imagining for a super rich millionaire.
It might have just been like opiate pills though, like painkillers.
Oh yeah, okay. But then I started thinking about it, and then this is where I'm gonna pull the Kyle here and be a kind of a dick when it comes to someone almost dying. But everyone was like, thoughts and prayers. Demi needs our help. Da 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 da. But then you start thinking about it, and it's like she's getting all the thoughts and prayers. But when Lamar Odom, this is brought to my attention on Twitter, Lamar Odom, he gets busted with crack, and everyone's like, crackhead, like Lamar deserves
right?
Like burning him, literally like burning him. Like ruining his life, ruining any credibility he still has, any career he could possibly have is now marked with the asterisk of crackhead.
Mm-hmm.
But what makes it that Demi Lovato gets she needs our help. She's an addict.
Because
it's weird.
She's a female pop artist, and Lamar Odom is a retired basketball player.
Black?
Maybe, I don't know. I was reading, like, speaking of that, I was like reading something today that was like, someone pointed out that like every single day in the U.S. there are 60 suicides by gun. Jeez. And no one talks about it, and someone mentioned because they're men. I don't really care that
that's interesting.
That's a health crisis. So maybe that has to do with it. Like, no one cares about Lamar Odom, but apparently people love Demi Lovato. I've never listened to her music, but apparently she had like a single called Sober where she celebrated sobriety for 6 years, and apparently this is a relapse.
Yeah. I think the song was, if I read it right, it was her. She did it for 6 years and then had a relapse, and that's what the Sober song was about. But what's also interesting about it is, if you're like Demi's PR people, how do you not quickly get on like TMZ and all these people and being like, hey, she took the wrong sleeping pill, or she took the wrong this. I mean, when you got people out there saying like,
well, because there's probably gonna be like a toxology report and a police report, so you don't want to get on there and lie.
That's the thing is like, you nailed it right on the head. It could just be like pain pills, and she took too many of them, and that can like if you're drinking and your blood's thin already, and you take some pain, a pain pill or the wrong thing, like that's super easy. I can completely see that happening. But heroin, man, that's like stage. That's like stage. I delete you from my phone book. You're doing heroin.
Right, dude. That's like, how do people, I never understood, like, I guess if it's that addicting or that much of a rush, like I don't like needles to begin with.
Yeah, I agree with you 1,000,000%. Well, then like, so I learned too that like, so the first places that you'll inject is like here in between your toes, right?
Yeah.
But then when you stop having those, like that's when you start getting into your arms and everything.
Yeah.
I just can't imagine just to go to the stage 1, like pricking myself.
Right? Like if it was like I'm gonna kill you unless you do this thing, and they presented like heroin and like a needle for me, I'd be like, is there any way that we can smoke this or
Yeah,
eat it.
yeah. Yeah, is there any possible way that I can do this other than eject?
Right?
Here's let's go. Let's peel the onion back. Let's go another step back. All right. So marijuana. Well, it's not legal where you're at, right?
No.
So, but
Well, it's like medicinal stuff you can get.
so marijuana, right? Let's say you're sitting there and you're just like, you know what? I know somebody who can get me marijuana, right? I mean, not to throw anybody's name or whatever, but that's not uncommon. I mean, you could go to Utah. You could go where it's super strict and be like, you know what? I can go find some marijuana.
Yeah.
I also feel like if you tried hard enough in any state, and especially so you're here in Seattle, this is a good example. Cocaine, right? You could find somebody that you could get cocaine if you really wanted to. There's a line that you could follow, like, all right, this person goes out all the time, yada yada yada. They might not have it, but they will know somebody who has it.
Yeah.
When do you get to like heroin, man, or meth, or like what? How does that conversation happen to where it's like, I know a guy who might know somebody who will sell me heroin?
I think it's just like how people get caught up into it is maybe, I don't want to say like it's a gateway, like you just want to try harder drugs, but where you're like chasing a high, and you just need something stronger.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But people might just like try it just to try it. Do you know the Reddit story about heroin? Have you heard this story about this guy on Reddit?
No.
So what happened was this guy made a post and it was like, he's like, I've always wanted to try heroin. I'm going to try it for the first time. Or maybe it was either heroin or meth, one of the two. But he's like, I want to try it for one time. He's like, I want to try it just one time. He made a post about it, like asking what to expect and things like that. And his next post was 6 years later describing his rehab, that he had like been on it for 6 years.
No,
and like he was in rehab.
It was one and done like that.
Yeah.
Do you know? I mean, it sounds like it was a longer ago post, but do you know if he had like a drug pass before?
I have no idea. I just heard that like it was like.
That'd be interesting to know too. Like if he had like he was doing other. That's crazy, dude.
Ken Baker in the club. Go for Ken.
Go for Ken.
Hey, there's that man. We're just talking about how Burns was just telling a story about how this guy on Reddit was like, I'm gonna try heroin for the first time, and posted 6 years later after like his rehab. We were just talking like how the level of drugs go. Like if you need someone to buy weed, you can find it. You need cocaine, and that's right. It's harder. But then we were talking about heroin, and it's just like, at what point? And I'm. If someone is addicted to it and it's like, I can get the spiral. I'm sorry if I'm like, I get it, but I'm just saying, like, to get to that point where you're like, all right, someone in my phone has a connection to heroin, has to be just like crazy.
Right.
Well, the craziest part about the heroin too is, I mean, I haven't dabbled in it, but like, I'm guessing this is all stemming from Demi Lovato.
Yeah.
Heroin is the cheaper version of cocaine. If you're famous and you got the money, why aren't you just doing coke?
Yeah, well, so Burns had a good point, because they just treated her with what they would treat someone with heroin, but it's also what they would treat people for. Like,
it could have been just like an opiate like pill overdose, like pain medication.
No, she did heroin for sure. You can tell.
Yeah.
Like, I think there were some warning signs before, but whatever.
Oh, it says right here, Demi Lovato rejected help from her team weeks ago. Demi Lovato's team tried to stage an intervention to get help for her drug addiction, but the singer blew them off. Sources close to Demi tell us member of her team noticed she was in a bad place a few weeks ago and confronted her about it. We're told that they offered assistance to get her back to sobriety. The plan was to urge her into a rehab program. It was not successful. Demi refused and continued to party instead. Yada, yada, yada. Her struggle became even more apparent before Tuesday's overdose.
How do you not? I don't know. I'm sorry. If it was you, Colbin, I'd set you up, dude. I would just take your heroin stash, throw it in your car, and be like, hey, man, I just saw this dude do a drug deal. Boom. Whoop, whoop. Arrest you. Go to jail. Rehab. Not your choice.
I feel like, again, I've never been in this situation where I've had to do an intervention or something, but I feel like I'm going out where I'm like you said, like, I'm holding you down, and Burns is turning the water faucet on you, and we're waterboarding you, like, until you listen to us.
Like, right. You're getting either that, or I'll get you really high. You get your high, and then I'm taking you to like Wyoming, in the middle of some ranch.
Well,
where you can't go anywhere.
I just remembered something interesting, like what Ken says, like you like drop them off at a rehab center, like get them arrested. There's actually like a police department in Minnesota that has like a pretty good following on Twitter because they had like a viral tweet on like 420 or something like that. But every once in a while they'll like tweet out like, hey, if you have like a drug problem and you're seeking help or whatever, like you can just come to us, no possession charges or anything like that. We'll find you a place.
See?
Yeah, and I think again, easier said than done, but you know, it's also harder to imagine. Like, so let's say all of us are friends, and then you know, Ken's the one with the drug problem, but he's also Demi, and he's got the millions of dollars.
That also like makes me think like I don't know if you guys know, but in Portugal, every single drug is legal. You can possess it anything, but if you're like publicly intoxicated or like on drugs or whatever, instead of like throwing you in jail, they just send you to a rehab center.
Damn.
And it seems to work. They have like the
Samuel L. Jackson movie where the girl shows up like all drugged out and he chains her into his house while she's like,
Django?
No, not the Django, dude. The Samuel Jackson movie. He like something snake, black snake, something.
Oh, Black Snake Moan.
Yeah. And then he chains her into his house till she's all sober and whatnot and good to go back to society. I think there was a Dexter season that was kind of like that too.
But I don't think you can drop someone off at a rehab center. Like, do you remember the Office Christmas episode where he tries to bring her to the rehab facility? He's like, apparently you can't bring someone to a rehab center against their will.
And she's like, wait, where we going? Cooper's? This place? No, it's a new place. That is true, though. Oh, man. Well, let's switch it from drugs to a more light topic. I want to talk a little bit of sports and porn stars here. I want to talk about Jimmy Garoppolo and the kind of fire he's become under for going on a date with a porn star. I want to get your guys' opinion on it, and then also dive into why I think that this whole situation.
So I don't know this story, so catch me up.
Okay, so Jimmy Garoppolo I'll catch everybody up because there might not be some sports fans. This isn't really like a sports story, but okay, so Jimmy Garoppolo was the backup for Tom Brady for I'm gonna say 4 years, maybe 5.
Yeah, he's 49ers, right? 49ers, right? Got a big deal.
Yeah, so he gets a massive deal from the 49ers. Mm-hmm. He hasn't. I don't think he's lost a game as their quarterback yet. I think he's like 4-0, right?
Yeah, he's like 4-0.
4-0. So the ceiling is just everyone's jumping on this guy. He's a rising star, good looking dude, the quarterback. He goes on a date with a relatively unknown porn star, and
she's like 40 years old though, right?
Yeah. And especially in the sense of like today, like she was more popular. Or earlier, and then now whatever, and now that she went on a date with him anyways. Side note, she skyrocketed like 1,900 something% in the searches.
She's like number 1 on the.
Yeah, she went from like thousands to like 1. But so what happened, Burns, is so they go on a single date. He's not dating a porn star. He went on.
So it's just going on a date.
Yeah, and then there's a picture of them holding hands, and it goes viral. It goes out there. And like people are upset about it. Like, oh, he's not focused. Oh, he's not this. Like, oh, he chose this girl. Oh, he chose that girl. And it's just crazy that this kind of goes back to the suicide. It's just crazy that he can get like ridicule. It's like a lose-lose. Like, what is he supposed to do?
Right.
What?
I don't see a problem with it. It's his dating life. Like, I don't understand why people care so much.
It's no different than Russ dating freaking Sierra. Like, he's not focused. He's not focused. He's with the, now he's going to.
How is he? So you're telling me if someone goes out on a date, they're not focused. So if I go on a date with my girlfriend, like on a Tuesday night, I'm not focused on the job tomorrow.
Hey, I can tell you this much, Burns. If you go out on a date on Tuesday night and you show up on Fortnite on the morning and you're just getting wasted, I'm calling you out now. Right? I mean, like, see what happens, dude. You are not focused. Yeah, you should not have gone on date night.
Your head's not in the game. But it's just like, and it's not just like the media. Like other girls and stuff are just like, oh, this sucks because now like normal girls will never have a chance. And it's like, what do you? You have what? So now she gets a like a bump because she's a porn star and attractive. Like, what do you want her to be? Like, what can you do nowadays, man? It's one of those stories. And now Johnny Football is just like, defending him. And it's like, oh, that's worse for Jimmy Garoppolo now because Johnny's in his corner.
Hey, Johnny Football is going to be playing for his old college coach now. He got traded.
Yeah, dude,
he got traded.
Yeah, right up there with the what are they, the Montreal Lutes or something like that?
So,
Lutes? I don't know what an Lute
something like
is,
that.
but-
Speaking of Ken Baker in Fortnite, Ken Baker comes into my stream the other day, drops a Twitch Prime sub. I have 10 kills with 4 people left. Choked it, man. It was his fault.
Yeah, he got wrecked after that.
You dropped the Prime sub and then he died.
Yeah, I gave it to Kyle last month, and then I dropped him this month, and then the second after I subscribed, maybe 20 seconds later, he got ripped. And then like the next 3 games he played, it was like he dropped, and then like everyone around him had rockets just boom, 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 boom.
Like the second, it was like literally like 3 seconds after he dropped to the Twitch Prime, I was like, hey, Ken Baker with a Twitch Prime, grenades flying in every direction.
With 10 kills too, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, then the dude that wins has like 1 kill.
Always. For as much crap as Jimmy and Kyle give Burns about not doing stuff, hey, I'm proud of you. You're still going. You asked me for a thumbnail today for your stream. You're still I see you posting all the time that you're live.
Yeah. Kyle said I was gonna be done in a week.
Yeah, and look at you go, man. You're killing it.
I got a new space, man. New space, new motivation. That's what it is.
Do you find it that your game has become better since you're playing more on stream, or worse because you're going back and forth like comment stream?
I don't know. That's about an average the same. It was so funny though. So I used to use Twitch like back when I was doing more YouTube stuff, and I would get quite a few viewers in there I would just stream for a few. Like I streamed for like all night when GTA came out, and stream maybe like once or twice a week or whatever, and then like. They just recently put my partnership, like reenacted my partnership and gave me like the subscription button and like the bit button and everything like that. And apparently they owed me money.
Oh, no.
And all of a sudden I get an email. They have 4 invoices for like $1,300 in there. And I was like, they owed me this much money? I didn't even know? What do you mean?
And they just like kept it. That's messed up.
Well, no, like the second they put the partnership in there, I got an email. It was like, "Here's your invoice, your money that you're owed." I was like, "Well, they must have just like not known about it." And then they reenacted the partnership, and I was like, "Holy shit, 4 invoices! Well, send it."
Dude, that is crazy. Just to think about how many people might not know that, like, you know, that like you're just one person. Imagine how much like. Twitch is probably sitting there on like 50K of just like,
Well, this happened to like me and Jimmy when we did like the community channel, like for all like the Call of Duty like trolling community channel stuff. Yeah, like it was like popping off for so long. We made so much money on it, and then like we just like stopped it. You know, Call of Duty trolling kind of went out of style. We didn't really post it anymore, so we just sold the channel. And then we go to full screen like contest, and it was like, oh yeah, so you got rid of that channel now. It's transferred over to someone else, and we actually didn't pay you what we owed you the whole time. They owed us like $12,000.
No way. Dude, that was probably a nice come up.
Right?
I had a Comcast. So I got Comcast one time when I first bought this house. So I had Comcast at my old like loft apartment. And when you're moving, you're young, I'm like, all right, I just bought a house. I don't need cable. Like, let me settle in and see what my utilities are before, I'm like 23, 24 years old.
Yeah.
So I move and I cancel my Comcast and I have my cable box and they were like, all right, well, you got to drop it off at a Comcast facility. I'm like, dude, there's no Comcast facility near me. Like, it's probably like a 30-mile drive from where I live. And he's like, well, I can send you a box. I'm like, cool. So they sent it to me. I'm like, I don't even know how to ship something out, right? So I just like kind of disregard it, and they keep calling me like, "Hey, we need that." I'm like, "Oh, I shipped it to you. Finally, I argued with them enough. They like took the cable box off my account, so I didn't owe them any money or anything. And I get to this house, and I'm like, I'm just gonna see this cable box works. So it worked, dude. I had free cable, like Showtime, like every single thing for like 2 years, and then it like. I don't know. They finally like got smarter and they started scrambling like their channels. So now like channel 5, which would be like NBC, ended up being like cute like Fox.
Yeah.
And so like I had this big old long list and everything was kind of messed up. And finally the cable box took shit. And then I was like, all right, I need cable now. It's football season. So I call them up and they're like, oh, I see you. You need services at your house, and like, actually we show that we owe you $359. And I'm like, what? I'm like, yeah, we like apparently we like something about a box gone missing, and well, don't worry about it, like I guess we owe you $350. And I'm like,
Just
Cool.
credit? Did they just credit your account then, or?
Yeah, I just had to keep it on my account or whatever. So I got free cable for 2 years from the Evil Empire, and they gave me $350 to do it.
Well, that happened like when I was in college. I moved into like a house with like 8 people, and we were like figuring out like what internet.
Eight's a lot.
Yeah, it was a big house though. It was like 3 stories, like 5 bedroom, 8. It was like 8 bedrooms. So like we're figuring out like what our utilities are, like Ken was saying, and then like we're like, okay, we're gonna get internet from here. Like we moved in, and we were gonna like call that day to like get internet service. And I just like turned the TV. This was like back in like 2007, so that's like before like the big cable boxes came. You just plug the cable into the back of the TV, and you would have all the channels that you have or whatever. So I just plugged the cable in, cable TV, and so we just ordered internet, and like it worked for like the whole year that we lived there. And there was like one moment, like the guy, I think it was the charter truck was like out back in the back alley, and and he was like fiddling around with something on the wires. So I was like, "Don't you dare turn it off!"
This is it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So our buddy Andy, he moved out of a place. And they 2 of his roommates stayed, and 2 new people came in, and they were just like under the assumption. So Andy was on all the utilities, and then everyone just paid him. And they're on the assumption that, we'll quickly switch the, electricity and cable and water over, whatever, They didn't do it for like 9 months, right? So then Andy's like, I keep getting, like, you guys have to do this, whatever, And then you would think that they would be like, oh, okay, like proactive, like crap, like we gotta do this. We're 9 months behind. We haven't paid for anything. And then Andy it just gives up. Like he's like, dude, F them. And this is 2 of his friends and 2 of the other guys. He's like, oh, F them. So he cancels the utilities. He's like, these are in my name, blah, 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 I want to cancel them. And then they get mad at him, like, dude, you like all of our stuff's canceled. Da, 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 da. He's like, first of all, pay me. Second of all, it's been 9 months. It's not like it's been 2 days or 2 months or whatever. It was 9 months, and they were so mad at him, like, dude, that was low. You didn't need to do that. Da, 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 da. Like, it's been 9 months, man.
I'm saying cancel it, dude. I'm canceling it after 2 months. I don't care who you are.
Luckily it was like $30 for electricity a month, and then like whatever for cable. So he didn't really even notice it, and it was just like, what the?
Yeah, the other like good cable stories. Like I had a couple of friends who like moved into this house, and it was like a super rich guy that lived there, and like he left, and then like they moved in, and like we're renting it from someone. But like the super rich dude that lived there just kind of like left his cable box like behind and all that stuff, and they like plugged it in and it worked and everything. The dude never canceled his cable. He's just like so rich he doesn't know like where his money's going. Like people are paying his.
So it's just auto pay or whatever?
Yeah, probably like he has probably people that just like write checks for his bills or whatever. Like he just kept paying the bill.
That's awesome.
Dude, that'd be like that'd be funny. Like see how long that'd be like a good like video. Like how long can you go for and just not pay anything, just leave it on the other guy.
Well, I mean, if it's in your name or whatever, like they'll cancel it after like a couple months of not paying. But
hey, you've been on the show more than Jimmy has.
You have.
What's Jimmy doing today? Is he still talking about the?
Who the fuck knows?
Over to Xbox.
Dude, let's tell everyone about that, Burns.
Oh yeah, me and Kyle bopped him and his son, and so they were playing like on PS4 and PC, and me and Kyle were like in Xbox lobby, and we just were reporting our games back, and we played 3 games. Most kills win. I think we won the first best of 3. They won the next best of 3, and then we just did like a winner take all game, and like we beat them like 9-8 or something like that.
Yeah, I turned it on right as you guys are playing the final game, but Jimmy and his son had already finished.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, oh.
So we were down like 8-4, I think, or something that like mid game.
Yeah, I think you guys were down, and then you were down like at least 4.
Yeah.
And then you guys got the 2 kills in the box, the 1-by-1s, and then there was another team there, and I'm like, oh no, are they gonna push this right now? And I was super nervous. But now Jimmy has to play with us on Xbox.
Yep, he does.
Whenever we all play. Because Burns clapped on him.
Clapped on them fools.
Have you guys gotten in the new playground yet?
No, I haven't.
It's tight. Kyle and I played it at the end last night for like an hour, because you can set up teams now. So if like 4 of us went in there, you can choose once you're in the game, like I'm gonna be on team 1, I'll be on team 1, and then you two are on team 2, and
Yeah.
then you disappear, and we straight up had like the most fierce battles. So basically we'd play 2 out of 3 at like Fatal Fields, and then whoever won, then we both kill ourselves, and then we just completely drop into like a new place. Like we went over to Tomato Town, and the Dusty Depot, and it was so freaking fun.
Dude,
like,
people are gonna get.
We
so
were laughing so hard, like I couldn't. Like I was so nervous. I was the most nervous I've ever been playing that game. Like I know where Kyle is, and he's like, we're both hiding, just building, and like the resources are unreal. So we built these just massive bases that you couldn't even destroy. It was so much fun.
Yeah, dude, people are gonna get so good at this game because now you've just allowed like, you know, people who have more time than, you know, other people. Not saying like us, I'm saying like other people who just get on for 2 hours at night. You're giving these guys like unlimited things to get better at building. You're getting them like better at all the guns, different. Like it's gonna be insane.
They need to make like a competitive playlist. Because I feel like the longer this game has been out, the sweatier the lobbies have gotten.
Oh, dude, Ken and I can vouch for that. We played the other night and it was getting so frustrating.
Like, you know how Call of Duty has like the hardcore mode? They literally need a hardcore set of servers.
I wish that there was a way.
It's a next level.
I wish that there was a way, which I'm sure there is, where you could, based on your merit, based on like either like playtime versus wins versus whatever, would allow you to play in like a higher server. You know what I'm saying? So then you
like
would
skill-based matchmaking or some shit like that.
But not to the point where it was like Burns. You would never be matched up with like me if we were playing like skill-based. But like you could categorize it a little bit more to like almost like social Slayer versus like more competitive Slayer. But then like the really good players played like SWAT. You know what I mean? Like
what we really need is what our buddy James has been doing. You know, Aortex. Is that he
going in the Switch lobby,
he joins his friend in a Switch lobby, gets all Switch players, and get 29 kills like it's nothing.
Like I'm legit about to just make a different Switch account and then just invite myself, and then just go on just the most epic tears.
Dude, you could, and you could just go kill your Switch one. Or you could play with both of them and just carry more mats. just auto run your guy.
Just stay in one area and have him hold all my meds.
Yeah. Have him hold all your meds and then have him or teach Bo how to play real quick.
Right.
Bo, run over there, dude.
I give him my old Xbox controller now, like the one that's like just whatever. It's not as nice. So I give him the old Xbox and he'll post up there and he acts like he's playing. But he loves cars so much, he makes me run around the outside of the map and just like destroy all the cars. And he's like, there'll be people like shooting at me, and I'm like, he's like, get that pink car. And I'm like, I can't right now, dude. I can't right now.
But your dad's under fire right now.
Yeah. Everything is fine.
Everything's fine. Everything is fine. A big stretch here. I saw a good shower thought.
Yeah.
It was if we rebranded sunburns as radiation burns, people would definitely take it more serious.
Probably.
I was like, oh damn, that's actually a really good point. I would be like, damn, I don't want radiation burn.
Let's see if there's
any. That's what it is, though. That's what a sunburn is.
Let's see if there's any good shower thoughts on Reddit.
Yeah, that one was. I love how when I find it and it actually says shower thoughts, I'm like, okay, good. I'm not just like stealing this.
It says, there's the top one is, you don't realize how many conversations you listen to unintentionally until you go to a different country and notice how many conversations you can't understand due to a language barrier.
Oh, that's a good one.
Dude, that'll be me in like 2 weeks. I got to go up to French Canada, and I don't speak French, so it'll be interesting.
Well, good thing you got Google Translate. Just say bonjour.
Yeah,
bonjour.
I think that.
And then merci beaucoup.
And you'd be Jim Appel Ken would be, my name is Ken.
And merci.
Yeah,
I can still...
Parlez-vous anglais, I think is the, do you speak English?
You can say the girl went to the supermarket is Il y a une fille Jim Appel supermarché. I think I messed a word up in the middle of there.
No, it sounded right because it sounded ridiculous. So I'm gonna go with it.
Here's a good one. Shower thought: Oreos have become less of a snack and more of an ingredient.
Dude, oh, that is deep. Oreo pie, Oreo
Oh.
milkshakes, Oreo coffees.
Did you ever
Oreo
do dirt when you were a kid where
brownies.
you take like chocolate, we did this in school, you take like chocolate pudding and then you like grind up the like Oreos and then you put
Yep,
gummy
the
worms
gummy
in
worms.
there?
Yep, yep.
Oh yeah,
Dude,
dude,
if you
that's
didn't
the
do that, you were
best.
perished, man.
Yeah, or another like young elementary school snack. You remember those orange and white sherbet
Oh
cups
my
with the
gosh, and
like
you would use the lid as
the
a
wooden,
spoon.
or no, they had the wooden
Oh
spoon too.
yeah. But if you didn't have that, you'd use the thing.
Oh, those were the
You
best.
really knew who the school shooters were because they would just dig right in and eat both flavors. It's like, whoa,
whoa,
you either want cream or you vanilla. You don't go at the same
No,
time.
you can't. You go all. I always would start with the vanilla. I go all the way out to the vanilla.
Yep. And then you get to that line, and then it's like the oddly satisfying line where you cut right down super thin with that wood spoon.
Mm-hmm. See, I do the same thing with the snack pack pudding cubs with the two chocolates. Like, you can't just dig in and like I seen like people that mix it around. Like, what are you doing?
Dude,
Freaking serial killer, man. No, that's not how you do it.
How do you mix it around, man? It's layered for a reason.
Yes, they have those orange sherbet cups though at the grocery store, and I seen them, and they must be terrible for you because there was like 100 pack for like $15. They can't be that good for you, but they're so good. I might go get some.
Dude, I didn't know they still sold those. Hold on, Burns, can't talk for a second. Let's see this.
Just taking live calls.
He's like Kyle. Kyle like go into a corner in Fortnite and be like taking a call. It keeps his mic on.
Like when his mom calls on the podcast. I always love that part. Just Ubering away. Big plans this weekend, buddy?
Going up to the lake.
Ooh.
Parents, it's my parents. My parents have like there's so many things going on at the end of July. So today's my parents' anniversary. Tomorrow's my mom's birthday, and then Sunday is my dad's birthday.
Oh, they played that right, dude. You sandwich all the bullshit.
Get it all out of the way.
I love it. That is a solid.
So we're just going up there this weekend, celebrate it all, be done.
See, that's how their marriage works so well. You just get like 3 major hassle headaches and just put it all into one weekend. Like do something fun.
Well, my girlfriend and I, our birthdays are on the same day. I'm 2 years older than her, but like same day, bang it out.
Beautiful. So you don't even have to really get anything. You don't even have to get anything. You just do something that day, fun, and then you're just done with any of that other bullshit.
Exactly.
That's the way you got to do it. Now, if you sandwich those into like Christmas time, then you hit a home run.
And then like her nephew's birthday is on Thanksgiving. Bang that out all at once.
Pie and cake set. But I feel bad for that when you're a kid though, because then like everything gets overshadowed, and then I guarantee you never get birthday cake. You always get pumpkin pie for your birthday.
Yeah, or imagine having like a Christmas birthday or something like that.
Oh yeah, you're taking twice the loot home though, so it's cool
That's
for
true.
a couple weeks. But then June hits and you're like, fuck, all my toys suck.
All right.
What am I supposed to do? Birthday money's out. Christmas money's out. You probably got a nice ass TV though, because you were able to take both those, and buy the Xbox, buy the TV, and then like a lot of money for the rest of the year.
This is gonna drive Ken bananas. Your favorite travel. So my dad coming in town for a work conference.
Okay.
He works, like he'll probably do the Friday, Saturday, hang out in the in between times. Enterprise rent a car. It's like, oh yeah, we have 2 cars. Gets here, lands, whatever, goes to the place. Don't have one. Hertz doesn't have one. Other company doesn't have one. So he's sitting at the airport right now. He's like, what should I do? And I'm like, well, you can just Uber.
I only had that happen to me one time when I had to take an emergency flight to like Indianapolis is where I was at, and they had some like huge like convention, like religious convention there. I think it's like nice. The largest in the country, and it everything was sold out. We had an entire like server room that we flew down, like took a midnight flight. Because basically at the warehouse they had left the roof vents open because they were doing some like construction on the AC work. Of course, the one that they left open was right above our like server room.
Oh
and so
no!
The whole thing flooded, dude. There was like, and when it rains there, it freaking rains. There was like 5 inches of standing water inside. Like, so we flew down there overnight, loaded up with all new servers and routers and everything, and we get there and there's no freaking cars. So we ended up getting an Uber XL. We put
Oh.
everything in this dude's minivan. The guy came. The dude doesn't even freaking speak English. We just got like, I don't know, $100,000 plus worth of equipment. We're just shoving in
Yeah.
every nook and cranny up there, and like I'm still in my sweat, so we're changing in the parking lot. Oh, it was just a disaster. But I've only had that happen one time. But why SeaTac though? Why are they out of? Is that where he's at?
Jeez, I can't pick up the thing. Yeah, he's at SeaTac, but that's what's weird is he's like, there's always a backup to Enterprise, and there wasn't.
Interesting. I go National, dude. I love National. Shout out National. They're the best because I don't have to talk to anybody. I just get in the car and go.
Kyle and I, when we went to Hawaii, we're like, oh, we're gonna rent let's go rent we'll get a nice car, like maybe whatever, like something cool. Then we get to the place, and I think it was National, and in Hawaii they're just kind of like, whatever, like you have one option, this is it,
Right.
and it's like, all right, you can pick between this Chevy Malibu or this like Ford Taurus. And Kyle's like, damn it, man, I want to.
Yeah, that sometimes the car selection's below, but it's better than. I like Ubering though. Sometimes it's just nice to have a personal driver.
I like Lyft better. It's cheaper.
Lyft is cheaper, is it?
Yeah,
really?
100%. We were up. This was on my birthday. We were out in downtown Minneapolis, and it was like a fucking snowstorm, and like we live like maybe like with snow like 20 minutes from where downtown is.
I love how Minnesota stories you have to go with snow. It's like a 20-minute drive. Without it's only 10.
Yeah. So like we looked at it. It's like probably like 1 o'clock in the morning, and we're like we look at Uber, and I'm like, oh god, it's a weekend. It's in the snow.
They surged it.
Yeah. So it was like I was like, it's gonna be like $50 to get home. Look at Lyft, 24.
No way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my thing with Uber, and why I don't use Lyft is the accessibility. Like I'm already all hooked up and everything. And to this point, I'm so lazy where I don't want to put my credit card information in again. I don't want to create another account and all that stuff. But when we were in Seattle for a Mariner game, we were trying to get back to my buddies in Tacoma. I want to say like there was a concert or something going to Tacoma. So the Uber. Oh shoot! Oh my gosh! Hold on a sec. The Uber was like you said, like $67 to get to Tacoma, which is just asinine. And we took a Lyft for like 30, half the price.
Yeah, it's for sure cheaper. I don't know why it is, but I don't know. Lyft doesn't have like any like branded cars though. Like does Uber still have like branded cars, like black SUVs, or is it just people?
If you do like the Uber Black, like triple XL.
Yeah, I don't think Lyft. I don't think Lyft has any of that. I think it's just people's cars.
There is specifications. Yeah, the only problem is you get in Lyft, you're getting in like a 1982.
Hey man,
Chevy.
If I'm only going a short ways.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I like a decent car that doesn't have holes in the seats, but whatever.
Yeah, I like that you can tip on their app though.
You can tip on Uber now too.
Oh, can you?
Yeah, they just started that like 6 months ago. It's
kind
of cool. I like being cheap, so.
Dude, the worst Uber story I have is like we flew to Houston for a USA soccer game, and we got in at like seriously 11 at night. We hadn't eaten since like the afternoon. We were just fucking starving, and we're like, oh, there's a Waffle House like 2 miles away, and we're like, should we get an Uber? And it's like, Uber for 2 miles? Are they even gonna take us there? Like maybe we'll just walk it. So we start walking. The roads aren't even lit at all. There's no sidewalk. We're like, oh fuck, we gotta call an Uber for sure. So we call one. It's like $4 to do it, and the dude tries taking us to the Waffle House that was like 5 miles further. It's like, no, dude, this one right here.
I had that happen to me one time in Chicago with a taxi driver. Because some airports they don't let you Uber and it gets confusing. So like I'm just like, all right, I'm just gonna hop in this taxi. And they don't really post it like no Uber, no Lyft here. So I just hop in this line. I get a taxi and I get in there and I'm gonna. So I had like a 3-hour layover in Chicago. I was with my buddy from work and I'm like, oh dude, let's go get a deep dish pizza. So I called Giordano's up and I'm like, hey, we want this meat because it takes like 50 minutes to make a deep dish pizza.
Dude, I want to eat.
Call ahead.
I want to eat that pizza after you told me about it.
Dude, so I call ahead. I order the pizza and I'm like, all right, we're on our way. And so we get into Rosedale, which is right outside, and they have Giordano's there. And so I get in the cab and I was like, all right, Giordano's in Rosedale. And this guy flips the fuck out. He's like, are you fucking kidding me right now? I waited in this line for 3 goddamn hours. And as far as you're going is Rosedale. He gets out of the taxi. I'm like, oh shit, it's going down. Slams the door. And like at the airport, they have this like I don't know, guy that basically runs and says, "All right, you're in this taxi, go. You're in this taxi, go." He gets out there, he's yelling at this. He's like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Because it's like a 5-minute drive.
Yeah.
I feel so bad. Like this dude waits 3 hours for a $15 cab fare when normally everyone's going into the city at like $60-$75. And so he's just the whole way, just God damn it, I'm so pissed. And I'm like, dude, this is awkward. I'm like, I'm sorry, dude. And, I'm just trying to get a fucking pizza, dude. I don't know how it goes here. He's like, why didn't you just take a Uber? I'm like, I don't know, dude. I didn't know I had that. So anyways, like I feel bad, and we ended up like, even though the guy was a total dick, we gave him like a $25 tip. And
just out of just awkward.
Right. Yeah, out of awkwardness, and so he still made like $40 off us. Worst experience I've ever had in a taxi. But ever since then, I definitely Ubered back to the airport. For sure, with our freaking pizza, and then so we took it back to get through security. And so I just had we left our bags. We flew the same airline, so they're already blows. So I just had my backpack, and I just threw the pizza under, in the X-ray or whatever, dude. And we just ate it in the airport.
They let you bring it through?
Oh yeah, why not?
I don't know nowadays though. Could you bring that back through?
This was like 4 months ago.
What? Because I couldn't get a bottle of water through.
It's a pizza.
No, but they're like they don't. Food's weird now. Like
no, dude.
Water.
No.
I know water's not good. No, I'm not the best traveler at all. I didn't do this, but I watched a girl have to like throw out her Chili's because they were like, no.
It's
maybe it's certain things.
I don't know, dude. They were cool. I just threw the whole pizza on the belt, and they don't mess with me, dude. They know better now. They know better. Like, unless I go to Canada, then they're strip searching me.
I always wonder that this is like the TSA people have to hate their jobs. The people that do this more than anybody else. Because it's like it's one of those situations. It's like a lose-lose situation. If you're going too fast and you slip something through and it's on you, like you're fired.
Right.
And if you go slow, every single person in that line is blaming you.
Yeah, I got my worst TSA experience was like I think it was like in the middle of winter, and we were going to like California, and so like all I had like all my bags like checked. I just literally had nothing on me except like what I was wearing. And I had like warm clothes on. I had like jeans and like a sweatshirt, but I had like a pair of gym shorts under my jeans, just so like when we got there, I could be like, I'm taking these fucking jeans off and I'm out of here, and it's warm outside. And like apparently that they have to like feel it. He was like feeling me. I was like, what is this under here? I was like, I'm wearing a pair of shorts. I'm going someplace warm. And I'm just gonna like run to the bathroom, take my jeans off, and walk out the door when we get there. And then he was like seriously like feeling me out. Like this dude grabbed a hold for sure. Like he knew what he was worth.
But that's like if you were to have saran wrap and some that you would saran wrap it to your thigh, and then you put basketball shorts on and jeans. So I get why he was probably
right. I had to plug my freaking Xbox in the other day when I was coming back from Canada, dude. They made me so I have my Switch on there so I can play in the airport. I got my Xbox so I can do competitive Fortnite.
This is an addiction, Ken.
Dude, it is bad. And then so he made me power on my laptop. He made me power on my iPad. They made me power on my Switch. But then he's like, all right, now you need power on this thing. And he's like, what is this? I'm like, it's an Xbox. And he's like, well, we need to power it on. I'm like, it doesn't have a battery. He's like, well, we need to find out. So we walked around the airport for like 4 minutes, dude, circling, trying to find a friggin' outlet to plug it.
Which is the hardest thing to find in an airport.
Right. And then he's like, all right, let's power it. And he's like, how do I power this thing on? I'm like, just hit the button. Like, this guy had never seen an Xbox before, for one. And then two, he like, yeah, it was a struggle, but it is an addiction. I have to play.
Another bad like experience I had was like, it was coming back from, I was doing something with EA, and they gave us like this big, they were recording like the new Battlefield game or something like that, and they gave everyone this big bulky like 2 terabyte hard drive, and I was just like, fuck, I don't know what I'm gonna do with this on the plane. Like, I'm not gonna bring in my carry-on, so I just threw it in my suitcase, like the top of my suitcase. So obviously a big fucking thing like that, they're gonna look through it. So they obviously like I got home and there was like a note in my bag that was like, TSA check this bag, or they opened it up or whatever. They had like taken like my shower soap and it had like spilled all over my clothes.
Dude, that's not me.
And I was like, what the fuck is this mess in my bag?
Dude, I feel like that when they open it up and they put that note in there, just like for a big FU, they like open one thing and throw it back.
All
Mine
right.
was the same thing. Mine was they opened the bag and I was like, oh, what? Like my suntan lotion is
Right.
or sunscreen is all over everything. And mine was on the flight too, wherever I was going. I'm like, gross, man. I gotta do laundry.
Right.
I hate that. I had a good thought the other day. Well, I've been thinking about it for the longest time. And Ken, you might be a good person to talk to about this. I never understand why people on like an 8 a.m. or 7 a.m. or 6 a.m. flight, or even like 10, are in their suits and ties and stuff. Like I can't wear a suit and tie like for longer than 4 or 5 hours if I go to like a wedding or something. I'm like, I hate this feeling. I absolutely hate pants. I own one pair of jeans. How do you get up
Sometimes though,
6 and do that? That's crazy.
just like I've had sometimes though where I've had to dress in like you got to get to where you're at. You got a meeting with a short window. You're just going in. You're not even. That's the thing too. Some of those guys, they're like, they just going in for a meeting. Like they're flying to California out of Seattle, going into San Francisco. It's a 2-hour flight. They go to a meeting and then they get back on the plane. They go home that night.
So I guess why stop and change?
Yeah, why even bring a
Imagine
bag?
how uncomfortable like sitting in a suit and tie is on a plane.
It's not bad though, because then those guys, they're probably flying so much and they have money, so they're probably flying first class. So
That's
they're
a good point.
they're taking
That's
your jacket for you.
That also makes me think of something like the airport and like a plane is the only place where no one will frown upon you for drinking at 7 in the morning. Like I've gotten on like a 7 a.m. flight and I was like in first class and people were like, "I'll bring us some beers and a vodka soda, Bloody Mary," and I'm just like, I didn't even think anything of it. I was like, it's 7 in the morning.
Airports are very booze friendly. The one, so Colby at SeaTac now, it's kind of passed in a law. So most of the bars there close at 10 o'clock, like almost all of them there. And there's a wine bar that stays open till 11 p.m. And they just passed, because like if you take a red-eye flight, sometimes it's just easier to take 11 o'clock flight and just try to sleep the whole time. But the McDonald's, Starbucks, and Qdoba now serve beer at SeaTac Airport. So you can go in, so you can go there and they're open till 2 a.m.
Yeah, 2 a.m.
Life hack right there.
Dude, that's huge for you if you ever take a red eye, but you're not an idiot like Roy.
No, Roy, but he doesn't drink anyways at airports, so
yeah,
because he's the same guy that mixes his orange swirl.
I could never find a red eye flight. Like I remember we took my buddies were trying to take a flight for a soccer game and then like just come back the same night because they didn't want to take an early morning. They said, let's just go. It's in the middle of the afternoon. We'll just leave at night. I can never find like a night flight like that ever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's weird. I think it's the situation has to be where they need to like have the plane there for the next early one.
Yeah.
So we're lucky because there's always planes leaving SeaTac at like yeah. I think I did New York.
I know there's like I can't remember what airlines it is in Minneapolis, but they fly to and from Chicago like 24/7. There's flights like every hour.
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't know. Utah had one that was like every couple hours they were always flying someone. It was weird too, like to Vegas. So you always could find like a $49.
There's probably that's so close. It's probably like an hour flight, right?
Yeah, actually. What's funny with the time zones is you actually like gain 5 minutes. So like you time travel a little bit because it's like it's like a 54-minute flight, and then when you land, it goes back an hour.
Yeah.
So if you like fly at 1, you land at like 12:54.
Yeah.
So it's like whoa.
It's like when you fly to Hawaii from here, and it's only like an hour time change, but on the way back you lose like a 12-hour flight.
Yeah,
6 hours plus the 3 ends up becoming like a 9-hour giant time change.
Yeah, you literally lose a day of your life when you go to Hawaii.
Then you gain a day on the way.
Or like Australia, you leave you fly out on a Wednesday, you're landing like on a Friday morning.
yeah, that's like what was the big event that just happened? Like not the World Cup, but maybe it was the Olympics, and these guys were flying to the Olympics, like the NBA players and stuff, and they would land, and it would be like 8 in the morning and everything, and they're just like, what 'Cause it was such a long flight, and then it was the time change and everything. Well, where was the last Olympics? Brazil? It must have been Brazil.
Yeah, Brazil.
It was supposedly messing with all of them, but like, bro, you can.
Brazil's not that much of a time change from here. It's maybe like they're pretty much on the same time zone almost.
Maybe it was the Japan one.
Maybe, yeah.
The next Olympic, Winter Olympics are in Japan, and the next one's where?
Is it LA?
I think it's Russia,
Hong
isn't
Kong?
it?
No, Hong Kong. I think maybe.
I'll look right
I
now.
have no idea.
Hong Kong
China?
sounds right. Hong Kong sounds right. Let me eat these chips and not talking to the mic, and I'll look.
I think it's Russia because it wasn't that part of the reason they put all that money in the.
They had Winter Olympics though too.
Oh, okay, that's what it is. That's what it is. Hong Kong would be tight. My parents just came back from
2020
there.
Olympics is Tokyo,
Okay.
and then 2022 Winter Olympics is Beijing, China.
China.
So Tokyo and then China.
Whew, boy, that air quality is going to be great for those long distance runners.
Dude, I think Beijing.
Thank you. There we go.
I order Beijing.
The Winter Olympics are in Argentina.
Wow, mine says Beijing in 2020
No, 2020 Summer Olympics.
or 2022 winter. I have Beijing,
Yeah.
and then 2020 I had whatever the first one I said was.
Los Angeles in 2028.
Yeah, I was gonna say LA soon. What I was gonna say, I think Beijing had like the. I was still in high school and they had the outdoor Olympics, like the summer ones, and it was so frustrating trying to watch track and field because there's no Twitter then, there's no YouTube or anything. So and there was no DVR, so you would like set your you'd set like a timer, like alarm clock. You have to wake up at like 4:30,
3 in the morning.
Yeah.
Run downstairs, and then you'd watch for like 4 minutes, and then they do 20 minutes of BS. Then you watch for 4 minutes, and then there'd be 20 minutes of BS. And I remember it was so frustrating that I just stopped watching until it was the primetime ones. But then they're all on tape delays.
Right.
So
I
it's
remember
just
waking
like,
up at like 3 a.m. to watch Michael Phelps.
Yeah, well, there was a basketball. So when it was the basketball, it was when Spain was really good. So it was like Spain might beat USA.
It was like the Gasols, right?
Yeah, Gasols, Ricky Rubio, Rudy Fernandez, a couple other guys. I want to say like even Serge Ibaka was on the team somehow.
Probably.
But then it was the same situation where you had to like wake up at like 2:30 to watch the basketball game. I'm not gonna miss that game, but I remember watching it just like, this sucks, man. I'm not even like into this game. It was dope though. USA won, baby, number 1.
Oh, wait, have we ever lost the gold?
Yeah, I think didn't
when they hold out year.
I think it was Argentina or something like that.
Oh, maybe that's what it was. There was a year too when the NBA players held out, and then it was the Olympic year or something.
It was all college players.
That's what it was. It was before they did the Dream Team. It was just college players. So let's just say USA basketball.
Let's see, USA basketball Olympic results. Let's see.
Olympics. Yep, that's what I'm looking to. Wikipedia, baby. History. Yeah, so 96 or 1994 is when they did the. So 92 they did the Dream Team, and then 94 is when they had like Sean Kemp and all the thugs and stuff on it, and it was awesome. 96 was Dream Team 3. They won. 98.
They lost to Argentina in 2004.
Yep,
This is in the semifinal.
Yep, I remember this one. This is 9 of the 12 players elected not to play. So they lost like Dwayne Wade, LeBron, Melo. So only 3 players from the team that played the year before that won like the gold medal team.
Didn't Larry coach that team too?
Yeah. So
and then after that, Coach K
yeah.
came in and
Larry
everyone
Brown
was happy. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the last one they beat Serbia by 30 in the gold medal game.
Yeah, you're right, Ken, because it says right here, after the game, Larry Brown had strong comments about his coaching performance. I'm humiliated, not for the loss. I can always deal with wins and losses, but I'm disappointed because I had a job as a coach to get us to understand how we're supposed to play as a team, and we did not do that.
Yeah.
But I remember it was something weird why they all like didn't do it, why they all didn't win. Because like it says, there was 12 players who didn't go. It was something weird.
I want to see what their roster was in 2004. 2004 USA basketball roster. So they had 2004. They had Carmelo Anthony, Carlos Boozer, Tim Duncan, Allen Iverson, LeBron James, Richard Jefferson, Stephon Marbury, Sean Marion, Lamar Odom, Emeka Okafor, Amari Stoudemire, and Dwayne Wade.
Yeah, but something happened. I don't think those guys played in the Argentina game, though.
Well, we know Lamar Odom didn't play at all,
No,
ever.
No, before he was cracked.
LeBron was 19 on that Olympic team in 04. That's crazy.
Yeah, he was already in the league for 2 years, though, probably.
There's a thing, I'm going to butcher the quote, but it's crazy. It's like LeBron had the chance to be... I don't think he played, though. If he would have played in, like, the other Olympics, he could have been the first ever... No, he did play. He got a gold medal. He could be, like, the first time if he comes back and plays in 2020, if he plays, he could be a 4-time, like, gold medalist. So he'll be, like, the high... like no
LeBron James must have not got a lot of playing time. He only had 8 rebounds the whole tournament.
The thing I read said that they didn't play in that game.
He averaged 5.4 points a game.
Well, there's your problem. That's why Larry Brown got fired.
Yeah, right.
Hey, you want to know the quickest way to get fired? Don't play LeBron.
Right.
That's his definition. Hey, Mike Brown, want to know how you get fired? Don't be.
All right, I'll try to guess 2004. Who was the leading scorer of that tournament for the USA team?
Oh, it's not Melo.
No.
Oh, geez, Richard Jefferson.
Allen Iverson.
Oh, gosh, dang it! I should have guessed.
Followed by Tim Duncan and Stephon Marbury.
I was gonna say Carlos Boozer, and that's why we lost.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say Jefferson because 2004-ish, like Richard Jefferson was just above everybody.
He averaged 6.8 points a game.
Yeah, so not very good.
So it wasn't even crazy numbers. Allen Iverson averaged 13.8 points a game and 2.5 assists a game.
Yeah,
So but this was back when they didn't play full games. It was 20-minute halves, right?
Yeah.
So it was only 40-minute games. So.
And I think Argentina, that's when they had like Ginobili and all those dudes when they were like all in their prime.
Mm-hmm.
I hate Ginobili, man.
Dude, the guy's nose is something to be reckoned with.
Dude, we made a long time here. We gotta title this sucker.
Yeah, we made it. Let's call it here. Let's title it Never Do Heroin.
Yeah, I like that.
There we go.
And then we'll put the thumbnail. We'll do the 3 of us, and then we'll add. We're not gonna do a thumbnail. I was gonna say we could add Demi Lovato.
We could like guess Demi Lovato.
Yeah. Never do heroin. Guess Demi Lovato. Perfect.
All right, guys. We'll see you guys on.
Again,
Yeah, thanks, Ken Baker. All right, we'll see you guys Monday. Bye.
Bye.